What's happening, everybody? I'm back in the woods for another hike. I am in northern central Arkansas, and this is going to be the Buffalo River Trail. I was looking for some more good hikes kind of in this area, and I'm looking for a long one. And this one's about 37 plus miles or something like that, and I don't have access to two vehicles to do kind of out and then get a ride all the way back to this other car. But anyway, I figure I'll just make it like a 75-mile out and back. So that's what this is going to be. Planning on about like 4 full days of hiking at least, and probably hiking out the last couple miles on night 5 or so. So 4 good hiking days, 4 nights. We're starting out nice and early. I think it's about 8 o'clock. The sun's been up for a little bit, and we're at the parking lot on the west end of the trailhead, following the Buffalo River. I don't know much about this trail. I haven't done too much study on what it's all going to look like. I know it's going to have beautiful views. Kind of follows a deep river canyon from my understanding, but it is nice and chilly, so I got to get started here. It's like right at 32 degrees, but I think this will be the coldest for the entire trip. Daytime temperatures should be in the 60s, and then overnight lows from here on out should be in the 40s, so hopefully not too bad. But we'll get out of this parking lot, across the road, into the woods, and we'll start this hike. There was a nice layer of frost on everything this morning, being so cold. But it's going to be clear skies, really good weather the whole trip. So you'll be warming up nicely. I'm definitely bundled up to start out with. So I don't usually have a mileage goal or anything for today. I'm usually a big planner when I just do anything in general, but I think since coming off of the AT, I'm definitely much more of a carefree kind of wing it when doing hiking now. I think as long as I make like 15 miles today or so, I think will be a good goal. I don't want to push it too much, being as I haven't been out hiking in the last more than a month now. But I think 15 miles on the first day is going to be a good goal to aim for, and then we'll adjust from there. I was looking at the Far Out app, formerly known as Gut Hooks, and it shows relatively a lot of camping sites scattered here and there, so I'm not too worried. I just got to get there at a reasonable time before the sun goes down. There's about 10 hours of daylight, I think. Sunrise is about 7, and it sets at around 5. The little critter there poking out in the rock crevice. I'm about 3.5 miles in, and this looks like it's going to be the first water source. I think water should be relatively reliable, but it's definitely going to be drier than usual, being the time of year that it is. This looks nice. I'm going to take a break here, fill up on water and stuff. Definitely feels like it's starting to warm up now. I've got my puffy jacket off and my sun hat on. So far the terrain's been not too bad. Ups and downs have been mostly gradual. And the trail itself has just been a little rocky, light to medium rocks scattered throughout. And the leaf cover doesn't help. So it's kind of easy to miss your footing and twist an ankle a little bit. I love being out here and just being all alone. It's possible I could do this whole out and back without seeing another single person. Just because it's getting more towards winter. I think we got a lucky break in the weather where it's going to be not too bad by the time I'm out here. And it's right after the Thanksgiving holidays, and we're in the middle of a work week. So So most people are back at home working. A little bit of an overlook view. I think it's probably break time anyway. Chill here on this rock for a minute. Some nice flat spots for tents next to this little creek. We'll be crossing this guy. Looks like it's easily rock hoppable. And then we'll continue on our way. Interesting sinkhole cracking the rock down there. Got a steep little descent coming down this way. This will be really fun coming back up in a few days. "11 miles in, and we get the first view of the Buffalo River. I think we'll be alongside this for just a little bit, and then we go back uphill. Slowly starting to get into the overlook views of the Buffalo River Canyon area itself. There's a side trail down to the Steel Creek campground. I'm going to skip that and keep going. I'm going to try to get at least another mile to where Steel Creek itself is at. There should be some tent sites there apparently. But the campgrounds here are usually a pay site, but in the winter months after mid-November it says it's free. So I could stay here if I wanted to for free, but I'm going to keep going. I think this is going to be home for the night. Campsites along Steel Creek. I think I'm just shy of the 14-mile mark, so that's going to be good enough for today. Just on the other side of the embankment, just the creek itself, still flowing good. This is the last water source for a few miles, so camping anywhere else would be dry camping. But I'm going to look for a nice little flat spot here, I think, and start getting set up. There's my tent set up. And this is actually my new tent. This is my first time having it out in the woods. This is not exactly what I was looking for, but I was kind of tied between Nemo's two versions of their one-man tent. This one is the Hornet, which is the one I ended up getting. I was tied between this one and the other one was the Firefly or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But the reason I went with this one is because this one was kind of their lightest. It's a half-pound lighter than the other one-man tent. But the downside is that it has to be staked out. It's not exactly a freestanding tent on its own. You have to stake out the little side corners. But I think this will be good enough as a semi-freestanding one-man tent. Sometimes I lie if I got it on the first throw or not, but that actually was the first throw. And now I think I got everything mostly taken care of. All I gotta do is get food and then hang the bear bag, and that's about it for the night. So for dinner we're gonna have a beef stroganoff and finish up a bunch of granola bars. Got all the water that I need for the night. It's nice having the stream just right next door. So we'll get that cooking up and get some food in me. Gets cold quick when you're not hiking anymore and you're camped in a canyon and the sun's going down. Overall today was pretty good. I think we made just shy of 14 miles. And overall the terrain so far has not been too bad. Ups and downs have been not bad, pretty gradual. I guess the only complaint out here is the little rocks as usual kind of for this neck of the woods. But even that, they're not that bad. There's just kind of small sections where there's the little rocks to trip on and the leaves cover the ground, so you can't really see them very well easily. But I got a feeling from here forward down the trail, the views are going to be awesome, because now we're in the cool, windy, tall cliff canyon type part of the trail. So that should be really good. There's supposed to be a viewpoint like a mile from here first thing in the morning that was hit once we climb out of here, so that'll be really cool. But I'm just going to finish up the rest of my food, and sun will be going down in a bit, so I'll probably just call it an early night and try to get like 10 hours of sleep or something, and then get up early and start hiking out. Maybe catch sunrise at the top of a cliff overlook or something for tomorrow. Well, we'll check back in when I'm done with dinner. I just finished up my dinner. Got my bear bag hung just over there, and I was hearing some strange noises across the creek here, up on the other side, maybe 500 feet away or so. Kind of loud crunching, like a big tree branch falling over, but then like 30 seconds later I heard it again, and then 30 seconds later I heard it again. So it sounded like there's some big creature up there rummaging around a little bit. Worst case scenario, there's a bear up there, but I don't think I'm too concerned. From my previous bear encounters on the AT, if anything, he'll go for the food bag, and it's already survived one bear encounter. I'll just keep my ears out throughout the night. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. I'll let you know if anything exciting happens overnight. Otherwise, I'll just see you guys in the morning. Good morning. We're all packed up, heading out. Just a little bit before sunrise. About a mile from here is an overlook. Hopefully we can catch that for some cool views, and the sun will be up. And now that's a little brighter. Morning. No disturbances last night. It stayed pretty quiet overall. So whatever creature I heard it had moved on, I guess. Food bag and everything else survived okay. And it was cold last night. I'd probably say it's about 35 degrees or so. But it should warm up into like the mid-60s, I guess. And in a little bit here, we should be at the some kind of overlook view. And here's our morning overlook view. top of a hill, and in the guides it talks about a pond and some tent sites. I think this is the pond. I think I was expecting more. That's just a little thing, but there's some room for tents up here. I think I'm gonna take a break at least for a bit. Something going on up in the middle of the trail up ahead. I think a hawk has got something. Yeah, I see him flying around. He like swooped in and pounced on something. Let's see what we can see up here. Squirrel's running away. I wonder if the squirrel got away safely. I wonder if that's what he was going for. I've descended back down a bit from the ridge line, and in about 0.1 or so should be a split off for another pay site campground called Kyle's Landing. And this time of year it's free because it's into the winter months now, but they shut the water off and the flush toilets and stuff is all locked up. But apparently there's like a pit toilet that should be available, so I'm going to see if I can find that, jump in there, utilize the facilities for a little bit before coming back on trail. This is a very lovely little campgrounds area. Nice views of the cliffs. Plenty of garbage cans. Space for chilling in tents. Got restroom facilities. Now it's time to disappear back into the woods. And it's hot now. It's not even noon yet. It feels like it's definitely closer to 70 degrees. Hopefully the overnight low won't be in the 30s anymore. Last night was just cold enough to where it was kind of miserable, but not freezing. I feel like the trail is kind of getting a little more rugged now. Kind of narrow on a steep cliff edge. And I'm out of water. The water sources are definitely getting fewer and farther between. In theory, there might be some up ahead. Most of the smaller tributaries are all dry. I'm looking at some of the most recent comments and stuff on some of the apps. And as of like 2 weeks ago, water was flowing, but I don't want to rely on that. So, we'll see. We're alongside an old cemetery here. You see some of the headstones back there. So from here, I'm about a mile and a half or so to the next little campgrounds area, which I think is the Irby campgrounds. And I've been thinking about my pacing and how I'm feeling physically. Am I getting the kind of miles I wanted to do for this trip? And I don't think so. I think I'm going too slow. My legs are a little sore on day 2. I'm kind of noticing I'm slowing down some, taking more breaks, which is fine. I haven't been out on a trail in over a month. Maybe 75 mile out and back was a little too ambitious. The good thing is, it's not too late just to stop wherever and turn around and go back. I can cut off a day's worth of hiking, and instead of trying to push 15 to 20 mile days, I can just do like 10 to 12 mile days on the way back or something like that. So that's fine. So I think once I get to the campgrounds, I'm going to reassess the situation there, which should be pretty nice. And then that'll put me around mile 28 point something, I think. And then that would be a pretty good spot to turn around, and then I can just slow roll it and take my time going back. So that's what I'm leaning towards. I'll make my final decisions when I get there. I think it's only a mile and a half away or so. Looks like the trail just cuts right through this old farmstead property. Old barns and stuff. Main house over there. Alright, I think this is going to be home for the night. I'm at the Irby campground just set up behind me there. But it feels like nobody else is here, which is kind of cool. I got the whole place to myself. It's another one of those, normally it's a pay site, but we're in the winter hours season, so not many people usually stay here, I guess, so it's free for now. And they got basic pit toilet amenities and stuff, I think. But yeah, this is as far as I'm going to make it today. I think I am going to turn around and just start hiking back tomorrow and just take it easy. I don't need to push myself and make this a challenge hike or anything crazy like that. I'm getting out of it what I'm aiming to get out of it, and I'll still have like 4.5 hiking days on trail, testing out new gear, breaking in the backpack a little bit more, and the tent and all that good stuff. So I think I'm just gonna unpack, settle in. We'll get dinner going here in a bit, and just kind of rest my feet up and relax. Well, dinner's done, and I think I got a game plan for getting back to the car. I'm going to chop it up into 3 days of hiking back. I got like 28 plus miles to do it in, and I'm just going to go nice and easy and slow. Just go easy on my legs and stuff. So I think it'll be about a 10-mile day, a 10-mile day, and then we'll finish up with an 8-mile day, something like that. I think the campsite that I passed that had the little pond is going to be where I'm going to aim for tomorrow night. It's I didn't check it out in too detail, but that's kind of the closest water source in that area for where distance-wise I'm trying to aim to. So that pond may be my water source for tomorrow night. I've drunk from worse. Hopefully it's not too scummy. We'll see when we get there. That's the plan for now, though. I think we're just about at sunset, so in a minute here I'm going to tuck all my stuff away and go hide in my tent. And I think that's about it for today. I am not entirely alone here. There were 2 guys in an SUV that pulled up just a little bit ago, and they're going to take one of the sites at the far end of the campground, so it's me and them, as far as I know, is the only ones here. But since I'm not in a rush to do so many miles, I think I'm just going to sleep in until around sunrise instead of getting up so much earlier. Otherwise, I think that's about it for today. So I'll go ahead and sign off here, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. It was a cold one again last night. I was under the impression it was going to be at least 5 to 10 degrees warmer than it has been. But the only thing that sucks about last night was that it was extremely humid and everything's wet. So at some point, probably when I reach the next campground, which I think is like 7.5 miles or something away, then I'll lay everything out, let it dry out again. Just the condensation buildup and stuff on the inside. Even with like the rain fly itself is just full of condensation, so that was wet and heavy. But then even like the side walls of the tent itself was getting wet, so my sleeping bag was getting a little wet. Not too bad, I just gotta dry it out. But I'm gonna go around this tree a little bit. Let's see what else. Yeah, we're only gonna do like a 10-mile day today. Start heading back. I think that's the smarter choice. There's no need to push it. Legs and everything are doing okay. I would need to do a 20-mile day in order to do the full out and back, and I don't think that was gonna happen. So we'll just take it nice and easy. There's back at the old farmstead. trail cuts right through the property. You go through the gate here, cut straight through it. Let's take a look at this plaque. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's on here. Yeah, Parker Hickman Farmstead. Let's see. Listed on the National Register of Historic Places. That's pretty cool. Nice little place. I was just thinking about how this is the Buffalo River Trail and it follows the river, but you actually don't have many views of the river itself. There's just a couple of times where you can kind of see it a little bit. And I looked up ahead at the part that I didn't hike further on the east end, and it looks like altitude-wise it stays more low level, so there's not really any higher up overlook views of the river. So I think like the only really cool view where you get the steep canyon rocky cliff edge and you got the overlook of the river itself was only on the morning of that second day. It was just that one view and that was it. I think I expected a little bit more, but I know this trail, or at least the river, the trail itself is like 37 something miles, but the river like extends way beyond that. So I don't know if there's like an extender trail where if you just keep going east up the river or something, then it goes like 70 miles or something. I don't know. Needs to be further investigated, I guess. There's that old cemetery again. I think I'm about at the halfway point for the day, about 5 miles in or so, down in this cool looking gully. And from here it's like up a hill, then down a hill, and then I'll be at the Kyle's Landing campground. I'll take a break there. I'm trying to dry out my stuff, I think, at that point. Made it back to Kyle's Landing. I'll take a good long break here, dry everything out. That was a very lovely break. Got everything dried out. Got some snacks, full up on water. And now it's just about 2.5 miles, I think, to the intended campsite for tonight. And most of that's going to be all uphill. I chilled there for at least an hour or so at that spot. So, legs and everything still feeling good. I'm ready to finish up today's hike. And I made it back up to where the pond campsite is at. Drop my bag. Let's go check out the pond water situation here on a closer inspection. Ooh, it's pretty scummy. Well, the plan right now, I've got a liter, so that'll be my primary drinking water is what I've got with me. And what I collect out of here will be filtered and boiled, and that's what I'm gonna cook with. And hopefully that'll last me until I get to the next water source sometime tomorrow morning. Tonight's dinner is the lasagna and meat sauce, and I've used the pond water for this. I filtered it and boiled it heavily, so If anything, it might have a funky taste, but scientifically speaking, I should be okay. That tastes alright. Tastes like normal lasagna. I think I'm okay. We'll see in a few days. I think that's going to do it for today's hike. Got the sunset going down behind me. Nice clear skies. Stars should be coming out here soon. And again, in theory, it's not going to be as cold as yesterday, but we'll see. I'll let you know what it looks like in the morning. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. A little chilly last night again. It's warmer than the other nights, but maybe by only a few degrees. Nice clear skies. Low condensation. So that's alright. Still feeling alright. Let's see. Today another like 10-mile day, I think, is what I'm aiming for. And in about, I don't know, 3 to 4 miles or so from here, I think we'll hit that cool cliff edge overlook view. So we'll get some shots of that as the sun's coming up. Made it back towards the overlook view. It's pretty cool from up here. There's like horses in the fields down there. There's looking back up the other end of the river. Here's the Steel Creek campsite I stayed at for the first night. And about a mile from here is the Steel Creek campgrounds. And I think I'm going to pop in there for just a minute and probably just use the restroom. And then we'll keep on moving. Here's the Steel Creek campgrounds area. And there's a little information kiosk up here. And I was just thinking about how a better way to do this trail is to get on a canoe or a kayak or something and go down the whole Buffalo River. But here's where I started, and only goes as far as I think up towards Pruitt is as far as the Buffalo River section is. So I made it up to Irby and then turned around. And you can go you float the whole river though. So that would be a really cool trip. I'd recommend doing that over hiking it, because you probably get way better views of the canyon walls and the river and stuff. This is that long uphill part to where the first day out when I was coming down it, I was commenting on how much fun this would be to come back up it. So now we're doing that. There's only a couple places on trail where there's some some good uphills and some good downhills, but mostly it's not too bad. I guess the worst part of the trail is that there's a bunch of little rocks underfoot. Easy to twist your ankle, and it's all buried by the leaves, so it's hard to judge your footing, and really easy to trip on stuff. There's that sunken hole cave area. Cool. I think from here is only like 2 miles to my intended camping site, and I'm debating on whether I should go past that or not. Legs and stuff are feeling good. It'll just have to be like a 2-mile water carry for wherever I end up past it or something. But we'll see. And I think this is going to be home for the night. This is the spot I was originally aiming for. 10 miles for the day. Got 8 miles left until we are done with the whole trip. I was looking ahead, and this is just kind of the last good water source for a while and last good tenting option for a while, so I don't need to push any extra miles. We'll just stick with the plan and stay here. It's still pretty early, only like 1:30 or something, so I think I'm just gonna relax or something and just maybe edit some of this adventure and just chill for a bit. Probably wait until like closer to 4 o'clock or so, which will be an hour before sunset, before I start doing dinner. So otherwise I'll just be chilling in the tent. Last meal for this trip is going to be the beef stroganoff. Overall, I've enjoyed the time out here. Just got a relatively short 8-mile day for tomorrow. Probably be back at the car by noon or so, and then start the long road trip back home. I think it's right about 4 to 4:15 or so right now, and the sun's kind of going behind one of the mountains. It's probably going to be a little chillier tonight, maybe because I'm kind of in this little gully area, but the nights out here have definitely been colder than what I've thought, but not too bad. I'm definitely prepared for it. But I'm going to finish up this and watch the stars come out and go tuck into the tent. Well, now I'm ready for bed again. Sun's about to go down in just a little bit here, so I guess I'll go ahead and sign off. Ready to sit in my tent for the next 13 hours or so, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. It was another cold one last night. It's definitely in the 30s. I had a little deer visitor last night, probably like at 7:30 or so, a couple hours after sunset. It sounded like a human was creeping up on me just with the way the footsteps were sounded. So I was like, what the heck is that? Shine my light out there, and sure enough, there's a deer creeping around. But short day today. Only about 8 miles. Should be out by noon, I think. And a couple hours, the weather should warm up like it has been, so I just gotta get hiking, warm myself up a little bit, strip down some layers, and then the sun will be out and then it'll warm up naturally. So we'll kick off to it for this final day. Man, I'm feeling good today. Legs and everything. I feel like I'm cruising down the trail this morning. I feel like I finally got my trail legs back. Kind of figures it took 5 days. right when I'm getting off trail, but whatever, that's fine. But it's almost like I feel like I can get back to the car, just load up with some more food, and then go back out. But this will be a good, all in all, this has been a really good trip, so no complaints. Well, I missed it, but there were some deer bounding around. They had big, huge white cottontails up there somewhere. It was a really cool area. But also there's like this really warm, it's not the wind, because the wind is cool, but there's like warm air pockets that I'm walking through to where it's like 40 degrees normally, and then I'm walking into an air pocket and it's suddenly like 65 degrees. It's like the weirdest feeling, and then it'll go back into normal like 40-degree air. I wish I could have like slept up here last night. That would have been way more comfortable, I think. It's beautiful down in these little stream gullies, but cold. It's dipped back down into the 30s. I didn't mention this on day one when I was coming out, but this is the section where there's a half-mile long road walk. It says the Boxley Trailhead is 2.1 miles, but I think it's closer to 2.5. So from like mile 2.5 back to mile 2 is road walk. Now we're in the last stretch. And here we are, made it back to the trailhead. Hike is complete. That was awesome. Overall, that was a lot of fun. That was a good trip. Colder at night than what I expected, I guess. Definitely warm during the daytime though, but as soon as that sun goes down, it is cold. So as far as overall on the trail, there was a couple of really good ups and downs that'll kind of wear you out a little bit, but overall not too bad. I think the worst part of it was the little rocks through most of the trail underfoot. Can be a little dangerous with your footing. It's really easy to twist an ankle or so, but I would recommend, instead of hiking the trail, I would actually recommend figuring out all the logistical ways to boat the river and do it in like a canoe or a kayak or something. I think that would be really cool, but maybe we'll try that some other time, some other day, but that would make a really cool trip. You just stop in at all the campgrounds and stuff along the way. But anyway, I think that's about all I got for now. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in my next adventure.